What does Aristotle and Einstein have to do with my creative block? Find out in today's video some crazy but effective ways that I personally deal with creative block when it hits me full on. As designers, it's important to have a website to show off our portfolio of work. Bookmark offers the most straightforward and quickest way to generate an awesome website without even having to write down a single line of code, and all completed in a matter of minutes. Check out the link in the description below to learn more about Bookmark and design your website today. What is up people, welcome back to Satori Graphics, home graphic design content right here on YouTube. Now I'm willing to bet that if you're a graphic designer or a creative in general, you've probably stumbled across creative block at least once in your lifetime. Now it can be really annoying because you might have a project that's due soon, and the more that you fight it, it seems the worse it gets. Now I've got some unconventional methods that deal with creative block and are going to help get your creative juices flowing once more. Now the first tip or technique I've got for dealing with creative block has been made famous by people like Salvador Dali, Einstein, and also Aristotle as well. Now I personally stumbled across this myself and then later learned that it's quite a notorious technique made famous by people as Einstein and so forth. I found out that I was having dreams just before waking up where I would actually run through a creative process and I would generate ideas almost subconsciously without even trying. And then when I actually did wake up, I realized these ideas are pretty kick-ass and they're pretty awesome. So what's going on here and why was I having these creative dreams? Well, I looked into it and it seems that people like Einstein and Aristotle utilized a technique that was kind of in between a deep sleep and being awake. Now when you are awake and focusing on something at hand, you emit alpha brainwaves. And then when you're more relaxed, beta waves. But then when you're in a deep sleep, you emit delta waves. But there's actually something known as theta waves, which you emit when you're between waking up and also going to sleep. It is at this precise moment that I have been generating these ideas on before waking up. Einstein was quoted as saying that none of his breakthroughs or discoveries were processed through logical thought. He and many others like him utilized this method of trying to generate ideas in between just waking up or just going to sleep, whilst the brain is emitting theta waves. What you have to do is you have to practice with bringing a conscious thought into this time period where you want to be making ideas about something specific. And also you have a sketch pad or a notepad next to your bed so you can immediately wake up and then jot down the ideas, because you will find these ideas do escape you pretty fast. Now it might sound crazy to you, but I'm going to leave some links down in the description box below all about this technique of, in between the realms of sleeping and awake, because it is effective and I do use it myself. Okay, so the next tip today on battling your creative block is simply change your scenery. Now for me, this entails taking a bike ride or maybe even a run or a walk. When you get stuck in a creative block, you need to find a new avenue and you need to give your brain the time it needs to reset itself and take a break from what you're getting bogged down with. Changing the scenery changes your thought processes, it changes the way your mind computes things. It gives your mind a chance to just recoup and regenerate. So for me, like I said, taking a long walk or maybe a bike ride really does help with this, especially on a nice day, of course. If you don't want to go outside, you can also just change the scenery in your house. Going to the kitchen and just do something different. You just need to take your mind away from the kind of blockages that it's working on at the moment. Spending too much time on one design can send yourself into a downward spiral where you get stuck more and more and more and things just become more frustrating. So this kind of doubles up as giving yourself some R&R and a break to come back with a fresh mind and a new outlook on things. Now the third tip today on creative blocks, I've never heard of people doing this for a creative block, is something again I discovered by accident, and that is water fasting. Now water fasting is where you only drink water for a set period of time, you don't eat any food and you don't drink anything else apart from water. Now I've experimented with this in the past for health benefits, because fasting does have many health benefits for the inner body and the immune system and so forth. But I also found that water fasting for 1 or 2 days, it kind of gives me a mental clarity and it kind of clears any brain fog as well. Again, this was an accident that I discovered. It was just kind of a byproduct of the whole water fasting thing. But yeah, I try and water fast once or twice per month for 1 or 2 days, just to, reset the body, let the digestion do its thing and relax for a while. because as humans, one of the ways we expend the most energy is from eating food and digesting it. So again, I've got some links down the description box below where you can find out everything about water fasting. And lastly today, the fourth and the final tip for overcoming creative block is meditation. Now going back to the Theta brainwaves, meditation is almost like tapping into that conscious state where you're between sleeping and waking. I'm not suggesting you become a yogi and a guru overnight, but again, meditation is really good for the mind and the body in general, despite graphic design or creative block related matters. But also I found that meditating does again clean the slate and it gives you a new fresh outlook on things. And you might even have some ideas pop into your head whilst you're meditating. But that kind of goes against the whole point of meditation anyway. So out of these 4 methods for dealing with creative block, which one do you think you're going to go and try yourself? And when was the last time you had creative block and how bad was it? For me, it's really interesting how the mind can operate in different ways and how different states of consciousness can actually bring ideas seemingly from nowhere. So yeah, check out the links to water fasting and also the Theta brainwave method of generating ideas. Like and share my content on social media, and of course, until next time, design your future today. Peace.